Hey guys, it's Mayen, and as promised, I'm going to make a really quick tutorial on how to make realistic looking bamboo. Now for this kind of bamboo, I'm gonna cheat. So I have made molds made out of silicone, and that's food grade silicone. And I have two different ones, and I made these. Now the reason why I made them is because I had a project over the past week. I tried to make them by hand and I wasn't really that pleased with it. And so after my project, I decided to make it, to make molds and make them look more realistic. So I have two different ones. I have ones with longer segments and ones with shorter segments. So I have two different shades of green here that I've used, and I'm going to show you real quick on how to use the molds. So you can actually use these as borders, or you can cut them up and put them on the side of the cake. That's fine. So what we're going to need for this would be your silicone mold. If you don't have it, you can try making the gum paste bamboo in segments, but honestly I tried making it, not that good for me. So aside from that, we're also going to need three different types of dusts: a lighter green one, a darker green one, which I got from Wilton. The lighter one you can get from Wilton as well, but I just used mine, which is apple green, and brown. So let's proceed. To use your mold, you're going to roll your gum paste approximately to the same length as the mold, and it's going to look just a little bit smaller. Alright, so when we put it in, you're going to start from one end and go all the way to the other end. Now this is how I fill up my border mold. So if I think it's too much, then I pinch it with my right thumb and finger and then press it with my left. So that way I don't overfill the mold and I just have the right amount. And anything in excess, I can just pinch off at the very end. Now you can use gum paste or fondant for this. Doesn't matter. I just find that gum paste holds the shape well, and you can easily take it out after you put it on the mold. So let's flip it and start from one end. Don't whack it because the silicone is bendable. So we're just going to kind of pinch it out until it falls out, and kind of press it with my finger and just kind of ease it out a bit. There you go. Now to me, that looks a lot nicer than the ones I made by hand, but that's just me. So we're gonna try and color this gum paste. Let's use this one because it's a little bit more formed. So we're gonna color that gum paste and make it look more realistic. Alright, so we're gonna start with a lighter shade of green, and I'm gonna dust the bottom part. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but what we need to do here is just to achieve different shades of green, and that will enhance the segments. And then dip your brush in the darker petal dust. Let me move out a little bit so that you guys can see. Alright, just a tiny bit of the green. and then from the top of the segment, brush it down just a little bit. Now you're starting to see the segments are starting to form and they're becoming more obvious. Again, it doesn't have to be uniform. I think the purpose of doing different shades is to overemphasize one end. You see that? So now it's looking a lot nicer than when we started. And then grab your brush and get some brown petal dust and just go over the segments one more time and lightly dust it. Like, don't overdo it. Now I really like how the segments formed in this silicone mold that I had, because it gives you the different depths in a segment, which I am not a great sculptor, so I could not achieve that just by doing my tools. So I went ahead and made a mold out of it. So now you're seeing in the mold that I have, it's imperfect, so it's not a uniform kind of segment, and there are bumps on some sides, and some sides are smooth, some are bigger than the others, so that's exactly what I want. Now, just to add the final detail to it, you can opt to get brown airbrush color, or just dip your brush in vanilla and brown gel colors. Just a tiny bit. This one is dried. I'm just going to take a little bit and just make some very minor streaks or dots or marks on the segments. Don't make it look so uniform, because that's exactly what we want. You emphasize some parts and not so much on the others. So there you go. So whether you have a mold or not, I think when you make segments for making bamboo, what's gonna spell out the difference are the tiny details that you add after you make the segments. Because when you look at it this way, it just looks like a roll of gum paste that you put impressions on. But when you have shading, proper shading and coloring, it really looks like the real thing. So you can use this as a border for a cake, or you can cut it and use it on the side of the cake. If you cut it like this, you alternate it with this. Let me just show you, because I'm thinking about it right now. So let's cut it up and let's pretend, alright, let's pretend that we're going to do this. Put them right next to each other. Make sure that you don't have the same segments right there. If you're doing this on the side of the cake, doing it with a bigger segment, then a shorter one, I might as well finish this, right? Cut them in different lengths, or at different positions, I mean. and then you're gonna see a not so uniform looking border from your mold. So there you go. Oh, I like it. So if you ever use this tutorial or this technique, or use any of my molds to make them, please show me. I would love to see them. For those who are interested, I do sell the molds at my Etsy shop. It's www.etsy, that's etsy.com/shop/waybeyondcakes. So I hope you guys like it. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great day. Bye.